Oh, hey there. I probably shouldn't be filming right now because I'm driving in a blizzard, but I'm literally going 15 miles per hour on Interstate I-90 through the Black Hills of South Dakota on my last day of work. And I thought I would just take this time to explain my family's current situation. I'm a truck driver, and just the other day, my boss calls me and he says he's really sad to say it, but my route's being deleted. So I am officially being laid off of work after today. It's a really messed up situation because we have a really expensive house that we're renting. It's $1,200 a month. With all of our bills, it's probably about $2,000. And we're in the middle of our bus conversion, which is really important to us. And we want to get it done as fast as we can. Because I make good money doing what I do, and it's still not enough to live in this big house that we thought we needed. Actually, before we moved into this house that we're in now, we were in a tiny little 1-bedroom. It was kind of like a 2-bedroom. And then we had my daughter Avery, and we felt like the house was too small for us. And it was a wonderful little house, $700 a month. And we thought, I got a good job now, and we're making money, and we were so sick of being in this small place that we thought that we would rent out somewhere nice and expensive and big. So we went from like, I don't even know, probably 600 square feet to maybe 2,200 square feet, and lots more in rent. You know, I probably pay an extra $1,000 a month in rent and utilities. It took us to rent this beautiful big house for us to realize how much we don't want to be in a big house. So we figured out, you know, we're asking ourselves, you know, like, why is this place just like such a downer? And it's because we didn't need a bigger house. What we needed was to get rid of our stuff. So we should have been minimizing what we had. Instead, we got a bigger space to put more stuff in. And I'm sure some of you out there have dealt with the same problem. And now I barely make enough money to pay our bills and our rent. So my little sister, over the summer, she converted just a regular van into a little tiny house, somewhere to sleep while she was traveling, and I helped her convert that a little bit. All we did was install a fantastic fan, and I'm sure she threw a mattress in there or something like that. That's it. That was our conversion. Well, we were looking around for a van for her. That's when we seen a school bus for sale, and at the time when she brought up she wanted to live in a van throughout the summer and winter, we started researching tiny houses. We were like, oh my God, this is something that we really want. And we were really serious. I mean, we wanted to do that. And then we started doing more research, and we realized that tiny houses are actually not very cheap to build. They can be, but it just seemed out of our budget to get started completely from scratch. Like I said, I'm just making enough money for us to pay our bills, not even. Pretty much just going farther and farther into debt. So as we're looking for a vehicle for my sister to buy, we come across a school bus, and while we were looking up how to convert her van, we came across Skoolie videos of people converting school buses, and that's how we figured out the idea to live in a school bus. At first it was like, oh, I don't know, I thought it'd be cool, but I was like, God, how much could a school bus cost? So we look them up, and sure enough, they're not very expensive. Skipping ahead, we bought a school bus. The first one we found, it was like $2,500. It had some rust problems, so we didn't think it was that bad. We bought it, had a diesel mechanic look at it after we drove it all the way back home, about a 3-hour drive, and he said that it had about $10,000 worth of replacement parts and damages on the bottom just in rust before we could even start turning it into a Skoolie. So now we're panicked, and now we just spend all this money on this bus. We don't know what to do. And sure enough, we find a buyer that bought it for the same price that we bought it for, just to get the Cummins engine out of it. So we thought we'd smarten up this time, and you know, we live in South Dakota, and I don't remember how I figured out about these auction sites, but we got ours from Gov Deals, and we decided to look in the South, where they don't salt their roads, at least not even close to as much as South Dakota. And we ended up finding a bus for sale in Missouri, really close to where our friends live down there. Sure enough, we won the auction for it. So we're watching all these people bid back and forth on this bus. We haven't bid yet, and they've been really battling it out. You have been outbid.
It's at 26.70. What do we do?
27.
There you go. 20 seconds left. 14. It'd be like right now it's gonna go up. Don't go up.
Oh my gosh. We won.
You guys,
We won, we won, we won. We won, we won, we won. Next time, don't try to take my bus!
We won! Oh my gosh.
We spent in total about just under, I believe, $3,000, and we got a 1996 International Amtran with a DT 466, Allison 545, I believe, with a 3800 chassis. And I know it's not the most powerful engine, but they're really reliable engines. It only has 107,000 miles on it. When we went to go look at this thing, it was just spotless. We bought it from a school and they had to retire it. And sure enough, they had like the best maintenance on this thing ever. We opened up the hood and right away, I was just so happy. There's not a spot on this engine. It looks beautiful. You would have probably guessed it was like maybe 2 or 3 years old, and it was 21 years old. And we drove it 9 hours. They actually took, I think, about 10 hours to drive it back to Sioux Falls. So since then, we've been starting to convert it. Well, the good news has been that I've been able to keep this job while we're converting it, and that's really important because we have to pay our bills. We got past our year lease in this place about a month ago, and we can go month to month for no extra money at our place. What our original plan was that we would finish the Skoolie, hopefully as good as we can, before my son is out of school in early June. And then we were gonna drive it down to my friend Denny and Rob's property that they all live on, and they all live in tiny houses down there on 35 acres right by the Ozarks. If we bring down the Skoolie down there, they're gonna help us convert it too throughout the summer. I know this is a ridiculously long story. Anyways, my boss calls me the other day and lets me know that I am being laid off from my job. And then it just dawns on me. We had got our tax return and we had about $3,600 left. Magic number, $3,600, 3 months until June. And I realized that was 3 months of rent. So I called my wife, mentioned to her about me getting laid off from my job, and mentioned to her, what if we paid 3 months of rent in advance, and then instead of me finding a different job right now, I get to work on the bus full time. So that brings me to here, my last day of work. I called my wife and I said, this is gonna be one we're gonna talk about for a long time, because I lost my job. I'm gonna be working on the bus full time, and we're making all these vlogs, you know, bus conversion vlogs. So I'll be able to work on that a lot more. I'll be able to do a lot more on the bus. We don't need to finish it in 3 months. We just need to get it drivable. And it does drive now. It's just, we just raised the roof. We got to put paneling on the side. It's a long story. If you've seen any videos before this, you kind of know where we're at. I thought I would be really, really sad to lose this job. And I don't think I've ever been more excited in my life. We are 100% committed to this, you know, living in a bus, this Skoolie lifestyle. We just knew, we know and knew that it was just the life for us. So our goal is to be able to get on the road and travel full time, just like many of your guys' goals are, I'm sure. And we want to homeschool our kids and raise them outside of the box, outside of the normal 9-to-5 cliche lifestyle that everybody believes they have to be a part of in this society. We all just think that we have to be like this, and you don't. So we're trying to prove that. We're gonna be homeschooling our kids, we're gonna be traveling all the time, and we're gonna show our kids stuff that we've never seen and that we never got to experience when we were young. We want them to grow up with a creative mindset and be unique individuals. If this is the first time you've seen any of our videos, sorry about the run-on story. I just am like yapper. We appreciate all the support from everybody out there. Really, I mean, I know a ton of you guys are doing the same thing. Definitely not the first. We're not pioneers of this, you know, but we're really happy and thankful for the pioneers out there that did this before us, so we had something to reference. Gabby finishes school in May, right before Isaac finishes school in June. So it works out perfectly for us to start our journey down south.
Ba ba